suppose I do not need this mic.
To the extent I enjoyed. Thank you, Rajsekhar sir, giving us nice understanding of Indian economy. Although some of the students were saying that in the absence of understanding of basics of Indian economy and the economics, it was little difficult for them to exactly understand. But I suppose everything cannot be understood in such a small session. And the students are from various streams, so they need to understand, try hard to understand the things those are being delivered here. So after economy, if students are handed over to a teacher, it becomes difficult because that is a tiresome session. Economy itself is a big one to understand. But I'll try my level best to put the things in simple form, simple manner for the Indian polity and political system. The primary thing that we need to understand, what is polity? In general, the polity is taken up as political science. It is different from that. Political science is the study of the origin of the state and related theories. No matter on whatsoever is the philosophy of the state, but it has to work. And the state functions for the welfare of people. And for that functioning, there is requirement of rules, regulations, some acts, some discipline, some system. And when they are made in the form of law, provisions, they become guideline to the state to work. Anything we do in our daily lives, we need to have certain rules, regulations, certain systems. Then only we are capable of performing the things in effective manner. Yes, effectiveness is rather more important. And the polity does that because it rationalizes in the form of law. And then that becomes constitution. So we could say the polity is basically state at work. We study about the mechanism of the state to attain its objective. That is polity. It is different from political science. Political science becomes an optional subject, wherein the polity is the operational part of that political science. I suppose I am clear. Now, another important thing that I learned in the previous session, that the students were putting their views, they were willing to know something from the teacher. That is the best part of any session, I suppose. So what I find that in course of reading Indian polity, we need to know about the Indian Constitution. And the Constitution is the collection of rules, regulations, acts, provisions, which are there to guide the state to attain its objective. Is that clear? So, while all of you are there to take interview for IIM admissions, you need to know about the system wherein you have to work. So the important thing that we need to discuss before going into the Indian Constitution is the nature, is the features of political system wherein we are living. Because anything that we do, either from economic point of view or from social point of view or anything sort of, we have to do in this system. And then on the basis of division of work, we segregate the parts. You have been exposed to economic dimension of the system. I have been given the responsibility to expose the political dimension of the system. So we need to know about the features of Indian political system. And the first point that I wish to put for Indian political system is that it is a prime ministerial form of government. Herein, the prime minister is the de facto head who has the real power. He functions with the assistance of the Council of Ministers and he advises the president, who is the head of the state. So the president is nominal head. He is assisted by Council of Ministers, which is headed by Prime Minister. And another important thing in this regard is that the president, at best, in normal conditions of work, cannot deny except returning once for reconsideration. So in general, we could say that the president functions on the basis of the advices of the Council of Ministers chaired by Prime Minister. Hence, we could say that the Prime Minister is the de facto head of India, of our state. And the important feature of political system is that India functions as prime ministerial system. Right? You need to say yes or no. Yes. Thank you. Another important thing that we identify here is that we find India functions theoretically as socialist state, but it reflects the features of capital state also. Capitalism is found. So let me explain what is socialism and what is the condition of Indian socialism. Traditionally, the socialism means that the state has control over the resources of the state. Whatsoever the resources, the property, all those are available, all they lie within the control of the state, wherein people are secondary. But the another important thing that is given to state is that the state will arrange the needs of the people to be fulfilled. These are two important features of socialism. This is traditional socialism. India theoretically has adopted the condition of socialism. Why? Because India has been announced to be a welfare state, wherein the state has specifically been given the role to work for the development of people. Hence, India has adopted certain part of socialism and excluded the first point that I have discussed. So we say that India is a socialist state, but not at part. So the condition of Indian socialism refers to liberal socialism. Conditions of Indian socialism that has been adopted by the Constitution of India is liberal socialism, that is known as democratic socialism. But when we come into the practice, we find that the capitalism sense is there wherein concentration of capital resources are there in certain hands. Statistically, I may not be exactly right, but to the extent I know that the largest number, big amount of resource lies among the elites of India. And the largest population, those are living below poverty line, are not having anything from it. So there is absence of proper distribution of resources. That reflects the capitalism feature. Right, sir? So that way, yes, that way we find that theoretically India reflects like a socialist state, but practically it reflects the notions of capitalism. That is the another important feature that we find in the Indian political system. Another important, do I need to write those points exactly on the board, or you'll be noting down by them yourself? I need to write those also. So it is prime ministerial type of system. The second thing that we discussed as but another important thing that I will share is we are having lack of time. I have to complete by 1 or more than that 15 minutes. I have to discuss a lot of things. All those will be made available either in written form or through the websites. Right? All those will be given you in written form. To the extent you are capable of noting those, please note, let me discuss and be interactive. Right? That may be more useful for the lack of span of time. And everything is available with the books. I'll be helping you for those. Don't worry for that. Right? Because in course of writing it will take some time. And I do not want to miss the important time that we have to do. Right, sir? Thank you. Thank you. So, we will find that another third important point is that India functions as it has adopted federal system of work. But we find that it reflects the unitary features also. Herein, we need to understand what is federation. In nutshell, the federation has two layers of government: central government and the state governments, wherein state is given more importance. The basic reflections of federation we find in America. India has also got some features, but apart from those, it has certain unitary features also, wherein concentration of power is there in the hands of center. That we find it reflects during emergency. When there is emergency, either it is national or it is constitutional or it is financial emergency. Therein, the concentration of power is there in the hands of central government, which is against the notion of federation. Because in federation, one of the important thing is that the status of state is stronger. Why? Because the area of functions to be performed by the union government are decided by the states. So larger areas of function are there with the state. That is prevalent in America. But in India, that is not. Right? When you go through the details like union list, it has got 100 subjects. But when it is a state list, it has got 61 subjects. When it is concurrent list, it has got 57 subjects. Thereby we can identify that the federal system is there, we have adopted. But practically, when it comes a matter to work out with the federal structure, it has adopted features of unitary conditions also. Right? So in course of that, the another feature that we reflect the political system is working with the unitary features of federal system. That is the point that we need to note.
Which one according to you is the better system, the unitary one or?
Look. Philosophically, there is nothing bad in this world. It depends upon the requirement of the system. Just to give little detail, the question is put. That when we go through the history, since say 6th century BC, and we come down to the modern Indian conditions, we find whenever the central regime has become weaker, the fissurous tendencies have developed. Either it was a matter of Mauryan Empire, or it was a matter of Delhi Sultanate, or it was a matter of Mughal Empire, Britishers and we were the colonies. Now, taking all those experiences with us, the Constituent Assembly ought to have blend of the mixture. And then we have got, in general, federal structure at work, wherein the division of powers are there, the central government is there having its own list of function, state government is the same one, concrete list are there. But when it comes to a matter of exigency, when it comes to a matter of emergency, then we find that central government takes over. But it takes over only for that span of time when the emergency conditions are available. Right? Otherwise, it functions in general and then the federal structure is there. So what we find that I'll discuss later on is that it is having mixture of the two ways. And accordingly, as per requirement, the system reflects. That has deliberately been evolved in our constitution because of the experience of the history. Because we are living in multi-level diversities. Geographical diversity is there, cultural diversity is there, racial diversity is there, social diversity, economic, a lot of things are different. Right? In that diverse condition, one of the important things that the Constituent Assembly had to ensure, and we must ensure that is unity and integrity of the country. So for any reason, for the reason of national interest, it cannot be permitted that there could be division of the country. Having the diversity, it was not possible to do so. So the unitary features happen deliberately, evolved, but that is only for emergency condition. Otherwise, the states are free and they are performing their own. Right? So it is not to say that which of the two is good. It is according to the requirement of the system. Another important feature that we identify in Indian political system is that it's a secular state. A lot of political parties are there discussing about secularism. How many of you understand basically what is secularism? The most important point for the secularism is that the state will not have its own religion. The primary thing in the secular conditions is this, that the state will not have its own religion and the state will ensure the availability of religion of everybody without making any discrimination. Right? That is, yes.
I have a question which is a little off topic.
Ha,
Pakistan is an Islamic state, right? The religion of the state is Islam. And there are few Hindu families that live in Pakistan. So how does the state treat them? Like are they illegal people? Like is it?
No, that is when the condition of state is Islamic or say secular or say Christian, anything sort of, the constitution is there. And the particular country identifies the status of citizens. And accordingly, as per the constitution, they are given certain rights. Like in India, we have got fundamental rights. But all the fundamental rights are not available to every citizen or every person living here. So that way, the country-wise categorization is there. And then it won't be good or right to say that those who are not having the religion Islam and living in Pakistan are illegal citizens. There is no condition of this. Right? So that is, say, misinterpretation of the condition. Right? So,
there may be the case they won't be treated equally. Like
that may be condition, again, same condition is there. So there are three types of citizens. One, people living in one country. Third one is aliens. Right? Now aliens could be enemy aliens. The enemy aliens are even not having right of 21 in India. So that way things are put. means it is the constitution that decides what are the things to be given as right. Okay.
Will it be legal to discriminate against Hindus in Pakistan?
Again, legal, what is law? Law is legalized tradition, and that is prepared by legislature. And legislature is the representative of people. So what people like, they evolve, and that is implemented. So there is nothing sort of being wrong or right if the people are agreeing that those who are not, of particular religion, they will not be given certain rights, then will not be given. If one is asking it is right or it is wrong, then it will be decided by the people. And then the law will prevail is the working condition. Right? So another important thing that I was going to put that we were discussing here, India is functioning as secular state. Secularism is there. As we find, India does not have its own religion, and for the right to religion, Article 25, 26, 27, 28, we find that it has been given the responsibility to the state to ensure availability of one's religion. Right? This is 25 article. So very exactness is there, and this has been given responsibility to the state, and state is to ensure this. If state does not do this, then the judiciary is there to ensure the availability. What I wanted to convey you is secularism is there, and people's religious rights have been secured. Another important thing is we are a democratic state. So democracy is there with open political system. Means at one point of time we have adopted secularism, we are republican form of government also, we are socialist form of government also. So as per our requirement the system is open. It has not been closed to one. And then the objective is to fulfill the needs of the people. Another important thing that is little negative in nature, that we find that there is devaluation in the political parties' philosophy. Not philosophy, ethics, morality. But we find that the political party is ready to do anything just to be in the power. Although theoretically political parties are having one objective, howsoever the possibility is there, to remain in the power. But that is not right. So we find that in India, different political parties have devaluated their ethics, their thinking life.
Sir?
Another important thing in Indian republic or form of government or Indian democracy we find is there is dependence upon the bureaucracy. Those who are elected, so they are popular persons. They may not be efficient. I am not saying they are not. Whosoever are popular persons, they may not be efficient persons, and hence we find the dependence over the bureaucracy